nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So before we get started, first I want to mention that Councillor Finch is excused tonight, and then we have two councillors calling in, and that's Councillor Cast and Councillor Sanders. And so I'm going to ask both of you, first Gretchen or Councillor Cast, was it impractical for you to attend in person this evening?
Yes.
And is there anyone with you in the room?
No.
Thank you. And Councillor Sanders, same questions. Was it impractical for you to attend in person this evening?
Yes, it was.
And is there anyone in the room with you?
No, there is not.
Thank you. And so the first item that we have on our agenda.
You want me to go? Protocol?
Oh, do you want to do that first? Oh, okay, yeah.
To the council, the chair asked me to review some of the meeting protocols for councilors. Just to, as everybody noticed on their agenda now, we haven't returned to having the request to speak. It's digitally on your digital packets as a button on top of the screen. When you press that, the chair has a screen now that will notify her that you are requesting to speak. You don't have to raise your hands any longer. When she will go through the list in the order that it comes, and then you'll speak. Just to remind that, again, nobody's allowed to speak unless you're recognized by the chair. Councilors will only be addressing an agenda item twice. No council would be allowed to address an agenda item twice before a council wishing to be recognized has been recognized once. So you can't speak on an item more than once until every other council has an opportunity to do so. Another one, no person will be allowed to respond out of order to any statement by any other person, and all comments will be addressed to the chair. It's not a conversation between two councilors. It's a question to the chair or to staff. I don't think it's ever happened, but any person's ever ruled out of order 3 times will be asked to leave the meeting. And the chair reserves a right to rule persons, including councilors, out of order for violating meeting protocol. And that is it. So everybody should now have a button on their screen, and that's how you request to speak.
It may be a little rocky with our first go, but so if everyone can be patient. And with that, we'll move on to the public forum. So if there's anyone, and this is not the public hearing, but the public forum. So if there's anyone from the public who wishes to speak, now would be the time. So seeing no one, I will close the public forum at 7:07. And the next item on our agenda is a public hearing for Resolution 2018-2019-44. And that's approving the Community Revitalization Tax Relief Incentive, which is RSA, commonly known as RSA 79E, for the redevelopment of the Selectwood building. So if there's anyone wishing to speak in regard to that public hearing.
I can begin by addressing what it is exactly. In April, the town received a Community Revitalization Tax Relief Incentive application from the Cheney Companies for the Selectwood building located in the Mill area. 79E, as it's commonly referred to, works is that if it's determined, which was, that the project is a public benefit and if the proposed rehabilitation is substantial, the town council can waive any tax increases attributed to the rehabilitation of the project up to 5 years. Town previously adopted a policy which allows for 3 years if the project equals 50% or more of the current assessed value. And according to the application, it was. And the council can add 2 additional years if it creates housing units, 4 more if the housing units are affordable, and 4 more if the structure is historically important. It currently assessed, the building is at $316,800. The rehabilitation cost, as estimated by the developer, is $1.69 million. If this was granted, the taxes the individual would pay on the project would stay at $316,800 level for 5 years. The applicant is requesting 5 years due to the historic nature of the building. While we would be losing the tax revenue for those years, we would be encouraging the redevelopment of the historic building in town, and would be getting the additional tax revenues in the future. And this is the public hearing to have that, to receive input from the public if there's any questions or comments.
Is there anyone from the public wishing to speak?
developed quicker. Really, it's an old tire building. There's a reason it's taken so long to develop. And the break on the taxes helps us basically get over the hump on the financing. And if you were to vote negatively tonight, eventually it would get built, but it's probably just going to take longer. And that's really about it. The numbers don't work now without some kind of help in some sort. And I'd like to think that it's a win-win. If we get a break on the taxes in the beginning, it gets developed faster, you have a more assessment tax in the future, and it works out. So that's it on that. I don't know if I would stick around to answer questions or.
Yeah, probably stay till the vote.
Okay. Yeah.
Any other comments for the public hearing? With that, I will close the public hearing at 7:11. The next item on our agenda is to approve the minutes from the June 5th, 2019. First would be the non-public meeting minutes. And so I'd take a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 5th, 2019 non-public meeting minutes.
Second.
Any changes, questions? We would have to go into non-public to make them, but. What's that?
Councilor Sanders.
Aye.
Councilor Dumont.
Aye.
Councilor Kuiper.
Aye.
Councilor Cast.
Aye.
Councilor Burns.
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
The next item on our agenda is for the June 5th, 2019 regular meeting minutes. So I take a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve the June 5th, 2019 meeting minutes.
Second.
Any questions, clarifications, comments? Nope. We're all set.
Councilor Sanders.
Aye.
Councilor Dumont.
Aye.
Councilor Kuiper.
Aye.
Councilor Cast.
Aye.
Councilor Burns.
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
And next we have the town administrator's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first item I'd like to address is our revaluation of town property. Town's contracted assessors have completed the preliminary revaluation of all properties in town. Not surprisingly, with the market conditions as we're seeing them, as we're seeing a significant increase in the town's overall valuation. In 2018, the town's value was $819,284,171. After the revaluation, the town's value is now $1,049,660,004. I don't know where the $4 came from, or an increase of 28%. Residential properties saw an increase of 28% in values. Manufactured homes saw 38%, condominiums 36%, and commercial 22%. What does this mean for the town? In the past, for every dollar of the tax rate, we were able to raise $818,284. Now, for every dollar, we raise $1,049,660. These figures are preliminary. After July 11th, property owners will receive a letter from the town indicating their new assessed values of their property. This was done by analyzing property sales within the town Newmarket over the past few years. When you receive the letter, please do not apply the current tax rate to your preliminary assessed value, as the new tax rate will be set by the Department of Revenue Administration in the fall. Usually when the value of the town goes up, the rate goes down. The number goes down. When you receive your letter, if you have any questions or feel the preliminary assessed value does not reflect market value, you may schedule an appointment to meet with MRI staff member for an informal review of your assessment. Information will be forthcoming in this letter. Do not call Town Hall. There is a separate number to set up these appointments, separate emails to set up these appointments, that they have a system to do so, and it will be in the letter that you receive, and we also place it online when we have that information. So now to discuss some staffing items that have occurred over the past few days. First, I want to thank our IT director for his number of years. Doug has done tireless work as a one-man show, holding our IT network together. So he's going to be retiring at the end of the week, so I just want to publicly thank him for that. But with his retirement, I have secured the services of an outside vendor to provide the services for the time being. After extensive search, we're going to be going with Back Bay Networks, New Hampshire of Dover. They have impeccable references and have municipal government experience. The contract is for $4,250 a month, and it's a flat fee. So we're going to have on-call help desk for everybody in town. They're going to have software on everybody's computer that they're going to be able to just type in and say, hey, I've got an issue, and they'll be able to get in and fix it remotely. In other news, I'm here to announce that I received notice from the school district that Lisa Ambrosio, the school business administrator, has given her notice. As that means also that our finance director will be going as we contract that service with the school. I've secured a contract for finance director and CIO, Chief Information Officer, through MRI to assist the town effective July 8th. This will not be a shared contract with the school. This will be a town-only individual. Her last day is July 18th. I bring them in a little early to get some cross-training. One of the reasons why that we're going to not share the position is there's a few. One, with the new superintendent coming in, she needs assistance getting her information in-house in order to find out what's going on, so they're requesting to be able to hire their own individual. Traditionally, a business administrator not only serves as a CFO, but a COO of a school district, whereas on the town side, it's just the CFO. On our side, we're still have the implementation of the new software program. The individual that I'm bringing in has experiences both as a CFO of 2 school districts, as well as the vice president CIO of Associated Grocers at one point, so in project management and implementing software. So I thought that was a good fix on our side to be able to do that. And we're both contracting at this point in time, so we'll see in the future if this be able to share. But at this point, we just felt it was better to go to separate that to make sure we re-examine it and make sure we can be successful again in the future. And that's all I have tonight in my written report. Any questions?
Any questions in that or the department reports? And let me do this now.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have something to read regarding Doug Poulin, who, as Steve mentioned, is retiring. And this is a proclamation for Douglas E. Poulin for his service with the town of Newmarket from 2005 to 2019. Whereas Doug began his distinguished career in Newmarket 14 plus years ago, and whereas Doug, as Information Technology Director, supported every town department with every employee's high-tech headache, and whereas in addition to working in the Information Technology Department, Doug was a critical component of the design and operation of Channel 13, allowing residents immediate access to town governance, and whereas Doug has always been known as a great team player, a strong project manager, and especially for his extraordinary commitment to fellow employee service. And whereas to his fellow employees, Doug was known to have quick wit, a smile on his face, and a perpetual habit of saying yes to any request made of him. And whereas Doug Poulin retired on June 28th, 2019, after 14 plus years of commendable dedication to the town of Newmarket, now therefore, the Newmarket Town Council does hereby confer upon Douglas E. Poulin its highest commendation for the manner in which he has performed his duties with the town of Newmarket, with special thanks for his professionalism, dedication to service, and kindness to the members of the town of Newmarket family. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set our hand and caused this seal of the town of Newmarket to be affixed this 26th day of June in the year 2019. Back to you. And so next, and thank you, Doug, there will be a reception tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
I believe so, yes.
If anyone's able, in the area and able to attend, to say goodbye to Doug. Or see you later, I suppose. Next on our agenda is, we want to do that?
Or do you want
You had committee reports?
Sorry, yeah.
It's committee reports, so if anyone has a report for the council. Councillor Dumont.
Yes. Not so much a committee report, but myself, Councillor Sanders, and Councillor Finch have been working together to design and set up our quarterly meetings, of which we had our first last Monday, I believe it's the 17th. We were hosted by the Stone Church, lovely venue. You should go if you haven't been. But we really appreciated the fact that we were able to go and utilize their space for about an hour, hour and a half or so, and meet with the public. The way we set it up was not unlike our first meeting that we have at the beginning of every year, where Steve gives us the town and the town council presentation. We fielded a lot of interesting questions and requests from the folks who did come out, and I think it put us on some good footing for future events, which I believe the next one is going to be for the revaluation that Steve mentioned. It's always interesting when you get to go out there and see what people are thinking and feeling and what they want to see from us. And it, at least for me personally, it helps kind of orient how I want to approach things coming forward for the next, meetings as we work our way through. So eventually we'll ask that everybody volunteer to host one of those with your fellow counselors. I believe Helen's going to join the next one with the next group of folks. Casey has one after that, and then I'll do the one next year. But it was great, and I'm very happy to see what we have coming forward. So that's all.
And Councillor Cast.
Yes, the planning board met on June 11th, and the regular business was mainly the business around an application for site development at 81 Exeter Road. It's going to be a mixed use with residential units with commercial in it. I think the planning board had some thoughts after that, especially the request for waiver of impact fees. And I think there may be some thoughts coming from the planning board regarding impact fees, and maybe a discussion of impact fees that they'll want to get the council's thoughts on as well. And I've already discussed that with the chair a bit. So just thought I'd mention that.
Thank you. Any other committee reports? Okay. Sorry. All right. So then the next order of business is our resolutions and ordinances in the second reading. And so if there's no objection from anyone on the council, I'd like to just switch up the order a little bit and take resolution 2018-2019-45, which is the Town of Newmarket Singular Wireless Option and Lease Purchase Agreement out of order. So is that, any objection to that? Then I would take a motion to approve resolution 2018-2019-45.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2018-2019-45 for the Town of Newmarket Singular Wireless Option and Lease Purchase Agreement.
Second.
Did you wanna?
Yeah, that's fine. As the council is aware, we were approached by New Singular Wireless to locate a cell tower on town property. The fire station is part of the Federal SafeNet program. The Federal SafeNet project came out to September 11th to improve cellular coverage in the United States. New Singular Wireless wishes to lease from the town a small portion, approximately 10,000 square feet, plus access for vehicles and utilities of the 10 acres that we have at the fire station for a cell tower and related facilities for the purposes. The lease area is located atop of the hill behind the fire station. The lease will be an initial term of 5 years, and will have a 4-year automatic extension and an extension term of 5 years after that, which is very common. The planning board has approved this project. The town would receive $2,500 for an option for 1 year. The town will receive $1,500 monthly for the first 5-year period. In addition, they will pay an additional $400 rent on any additional carriers on the pole. The rent will be raised by 10% at the time of every automatic renewal. In addition, we'll be able to charge property taxes for that pole. And I'm recommending that we pass the resolution. And the town attorney's here if you have any questions legally.
Councillor Dumont.
Just a quick question for the town administrator. Has New Singular Wireless hinted as to other carriers that are in line waiting for this to happen?
No.
Or right now it's just looking like the...
Yeah, just
Okay.
just AT&T at this point.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Counselor Burns?
Just a question, if this were to be approved, how soon would it be,
They seem eager to get up there, so even though it's a 1-year option, I would assume that they would try to get up there ASAP.
okay,
So,
thank you.
just for public's information too, it's a monopole, so it's not the traditional one we see with the branches on top. It's just the pole.
Seeing no other comments, call the roll, please.
Councilor Sanders,
Aye.
Councilor Dumont,
Aye.
Councilor Kuiper,
Aye.
Councilor Cast,
Aye.
Councilor Burns,
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein.
Aye,
Motion passes 6-0.
thank you. Next on our agenda is Resolution 2018-2019-40, and that's the swing installation and playground improvements. Take a motion to accept that resolution.
I'll make a motion to accept resolution 2018-2019-40 for swing installation and playground improvements.
Second.
Greg Miles, our Facilities Director. Thank you.
Yes. If the council may remember, last year we went out to purchase several swings that we were working towards getting installed this year. We did create an RFP. The RFP went out, was published. Fortunately, didn't have a lot of response to it. We had one response to our solicitation, and that particular one came way over budget. So we did work with the contractor that did provide it, Dan Parks Fencing and Landscaping, and came up to a number that could work so that we could actually get new swings installed. We did cut back some of the scope that we were doing to be able to bring that. We were going to be adding some new swings, some additional swings on top of that, some other play areas. So we have scaled that back so that we can actually get the existing playgrounds brought up to compliance with the wood chips and safety zones, as well as getting the 2 new swings installed.
Was this old?
That's old.
Did anybody have any questions?
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
Councilor Sanders,
Aye.
Councilor Dumont,
Aye.
Councilor Kuiper,
Aye.
Councilor Cast,
Aye.
Councilor Burns,
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item is Resolution 2018-2019-41. Accept a motion to approve that resolution.
I will make a motion to accept resolution 2018-2019-41 for the purchase of 2020 police SUV line car 1.
Second.
Hi.
Chief. Hi.
Thank you for having us. We're looking to replace a 2005 Crown Victoria that has about 60,000 miles on it. We've been told by our town mechanic, Auto Excellence, that we shouldn't be driving it. So what we do is we just drive it through town. We don't leave town with it, and it's literally used to go from point A to point B. I do not want to see the officers driving this car anymore. I have deep concern about them driving it. So I put a request out to Irwin Ford for a state bid. It came back at $33,779. Requested 3 bids from 3 different vendors to outfit the car like we normally do. The lowest vendor was Two-Way Communication, which is a company that we're currently under contract with to maintain our dispatch center and has maintained several vehicles in the past. Their quote was $23,724.20. The cost of lettering the vehicle is $500, a local company out of Londonderry, New Hampshire. The money would come from a capital reserve police vehicle replacement account, which has $217,684 in it. And I'm asking the council to authorize the expenditure of $58,003.20. This would be a line car, a black and white line car for the police officers.
There aren't any other counselors requesting to speak, so I'm going to ask a question.
Sure.
So, and I will ask this question every time a vehicle is
Sure.
brought up in front of us. Have you considered, and I already know the answer to this, but have you considered looking at alternative fuel, hybrid, anything like that?
We did. Actually, we went through this, I believe it was 2010 or 2011. We looked at a propane-fired vehicle, and Ford would not warranty any of the vehicle if we went there, so we decided not to do it.
Okay.
That doesn't mean in the future we couldn't look at a hybrid type, but the only other alternative fuel we looked at was propane. The federal government has used electric cars in the past, and they've had federal agents getting their vehicles towed because they run out of energy. These cars are on the road 10 to 20 hours a day. So I'm not opposed to reducing our carbon footprint by any means, but I also have to make sure that we can be safe and keep our officers safe.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
So with no other comments, call the roll, please.
Councilor Sanders.
Aye.
Councilor Dumont.
Aye.
Councilor Kuiper.
Aye.
Councilor Cast.
Aye.
Councilor Burns.
Aye.
Councilor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Our next resolution is 2018-2019-42, the purchase of a 2020 police SUV, line car 6.
So this is another line car.
We need a motion first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2018-2019-42, purchase of 2020 police SUV, line car 6.
Second.
I apologize for that.
It's okay.
Again, this is another line vehicle to use for the uniformed police officer on the street. It's going to be a black and white car. The good thing about this vehicle is we'll be able to strip some items out of an older vehicle to include the radio, cage, rifle rack, small items that add up. So I went through the same process, state bid for the vehicle, went through the vendor process, and again, two-way communication was the lowest bidder. And their cost to transfer items from the older vehicle to the newer vehicle would be $9,137. Cost of lettering would be $500, with a total cost to replace this 2014 vehicle with 120,000 miles on it would be $43,416. This money would be taken from the police detail revolving account. Are you all familiar with what that is? It's different than capital reserve.
It's the revenues that we receive from details of the police work. It goes into a fund. We withdraw funds from them every so often to purchase cruisers.
Councilor Cast?
Hi, good evening, Chief. I just had a question about the vehicle being possibly being transferred to the fire department for service. I don't think I've seen that on these vehicles before. Could you explain that's just potential, and how would that work?
I'll take it if you want. Usually we have transferred other vehicles. The code enforcement officer is currently driving a former police cruiser for their vehicle, and it's basically it would be taken offline, we'd strip it of anything that is related to the police department and paint it so it no longer looks like a police cruiser, so people don't get confused by the vehicle. It's commonly done in municipalities when a cruiser comes offline to have another department use it.
May I just follow that up with a follow-up clarification on that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was just interested whether you actually plan to do that, or was that just a mention of potential use?
We plan on doing it.
Car?
We plan on doing it.
Okay. Thank you.
If not, odds are it could go to a different department as well.
It's not cost effective what we did in the past. We used to send it to the state auction, and we would get $200 to $300 for it. We have to pay to have it towed. So it's easier to give it to the fire chief or to code enforcement. They'll get a few years out of it. So.
Great. With no other request to speak, call the roll, please.
Council Sanders.
Aye.
Council Dumont.
Aye.
Council Kuiper.
Aye.
Council Cast.
Aye.
Council Burns.
Aye.
Council Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So our next item is Resolution 2018-2019-43, which is the water meter software upgrade, and I would accept a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2018-2019-43 water meter software upgrade.
Second.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me. Back in 2004, the town council chose to go with Badger meter. It's how we read how much their water they use. With that, we have radio read, which we drive around town and read the meters. But we've been informed that Badger meter is doing a major upgrade to their software. So they haven't done any software upgrades since 2004. And with that, they're coming out with new transmitters and things that that the old stuff will not read and they will not support. So the new software and the new equipment will read the old stuff and read the new stuff. So I'm asking tonight for the council to approve the purchase and installation of the new software for the water meters out of capital reserve.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
We've used this company since 2004.
Yes.
Are they the only option? Is there
The only way you can change is if we change all our water
Change all the
meters,
meters, yep.
which we have 2,000 water meters,
okay?
and they're about $250 to $300 a piece.
I figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Yeah. No other comments? So
Council Sanders.
Aye.
Council Dumont.
Aye.
Council Kuiper.
Aye.
Council Cast.
Aye.
Council Burns.
Aye.
Council Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Resolution 2018-2019-44, approving the community revitalization tax relief incentive for the redevelopment of the Selectwood building. I would accept a motion to approve that resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2018-2019-44, approving the community revitalization tax relief incentive, RSA 79E, for the redevelopment of the Selectwood building.
Second.
Same information in the public hearing.
Nothing's changed?
No, nothing's changed.
20 minutes?
It's been really successful in the past in town with, we're actually somewhat of a poster child for it around the state for 79E successes with the mill as well as the blacksmith shop down on the river, and this is just continue that on.
Councilor Burns?
I just have a comment, really. I'm excited to see this happening, so I'm just gonna say that I am definitely in favor of this.
Councilor Cast?
I just was wanting a clarification. Maybe I'm not understanding real clearly. So the years requested are 5 total years,
Yep.
but it looked like there was a potential for a couple more.
It wasn't requested, so it's only 5 years.
Okay, hey, it just wasn't requested.
Yep.
So won't ask longer.
Yeah. Don't push it.
Councilor
Thank
Dumont?
I'm actually going to withdraw that.
Okay.
My question was answered.
I have a quick question, if there aren't any others. What happens if, does the work have to be completed within a certain amount of time? Are there restrictions about that?
Yes, and we can pull it if it's not completed.
Okay.
So
What is the time frame? Do you know?
I don't off the top of my head. It's usually the time of the
Of
yeah.
Okay. I'm excited to see something happen with that building. I think it's obviously a huge project. I was out there the other day just kind of looking at it, and you've got your work cut out for you, there's no doubt. But it's a beautiful building, and I've seen what can happen with other of these historic brick buildings, so it has a lot of potential, clearly. So I don't have any other comments. Call the roll.
Counselor Sanders.
Aye.
Counselor Dumont.
Aye.
Counselor Kuiper.
Aye.
Counselor Cast.
Aye.
Counselor Burns.
Aye.
Counselor Weinstein.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. We do not have any nominations or appointments. And so our next item is resolutions in the first reading. And I'm pulling that up right now. So it's resolution 2018-2019-45, which is a water and sewer truck number 12 replacement. Whereas Auto Excellence recommends Environmental Services truck number 12 be replaced, and whereas truck 12 is scheduled for replacement in 2019, and whereas the Environmental Services Department has followed the purchasing policy and received state bid from Grapponi Ford, and whereas the Environmental Services Department received bids for the truck changeover work, now therefore be it resolved by the Newmarket Town Council that the withdrawal of $30,035 from each of the water and sewer capital reserve funds to purchase a new Ford 350 truck and to perform the necessary changeover work from Grapponi Ford and Hughes Company for the sum of $60,070. First reading, June 26, 2019. Okay. The next resolution that we have is 2018-2019-47. If there's no objection, I'm going to read this by title only, just because it's lengthy. And so it's a resolution authorizing the town administrator to enter into an agreement with Wright Pierce Engineers for construction phase services associated with the Bay Road Culvert Replacement Project. First reading, June 26, 2019. And that's all we have. The next item is correspondence to the town council.
I had none.
I had an item that I thought I would bring up, and I received an email from a person in town who had a question about a noise ordinance, and in particular around roosters in town. And I talked to the town administrator about it, and I think that this person sent it to most of the council, not to everyone. So some people did not receive it. But the concern is that roosters start making noise at first light. So not even, at sunrise, it's at first light. And I'm sure that is incredibly frustrating to neighbors. But talking to the town administrator, we don't have an ordinance currently in place. Our noise ordinance does not cover that. People, there's a big movement around people raising chickens, and so with chickens come roosters. So unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do. We did look into it. There's just not a lot that can be done. I don't know if anyone else had any comments about it, but no. Any other correspondence to the council? Councilor Cast?
Yes, I was one of the recipients of that letter, or that email, and I looked into it a bit, and I would like to kick some more ideas around. Do we have, I don't know, do we have a committee we could refer that to, or how would that work, if we wanted to see what else we could do?
It actually would have to go to the planning board, because we need a change in zoning from wherever that individual lives, from rural to some other kind of zone that doesn't allow, wouldn't allow agriculture in there. And I'd like to remind the council of another rule that they have in their rules and procedure. Anonymous communications. Unsigned communications shall not be introduced in council meetings, nor shall the council entertain any review, discussion, action upon unsigned communications.
It was signed.
But it was asked to be kept anonymous, and that's against the rule.
Okay, thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, it's not, it's just in general.
Right.
Because
Right.
in a right to know request, they're gonna find out anyways.
Right. Counselor Dumont?
Steve, have we read the name of every single individual that's reached out to the council
Yes.
via email?
Yep.
Okay.
Not every email, but if it goes to majority,
Yeah.
it should be read out. If it's communication to council officially, yes.
I know for large ones we have. I just wasn't sure if it's for
Yep.
every single one. But
The ones I see,
Right.
we do.
yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Any other correspondence? And then closing comments by town councilors. Counselor Cast?
Yes, I missed an opportunity to comment on a resolution earlier for the swing installation and playground improvements. I'm not discussing it. I just wanted to comment and point out that I thought it was a fairly significant achievement by the facilities director, and I don't know if the recreation director was also participating in the negotiations. But if you read the discussion, I just pointed out that they only got one bid. That was 50% or 100% over the projected project cost that they wanted it, and they worked that single bidder down to half of the projection cost. And I just think that warrants some recognition and a big pat on the back. That's great work.
Thank you. I had one item that I wanted to mention. We met this morning with the incoming superintendent, the town administrator, and the chair of the school board, and we did discuss a potential date for the joint school board town council meeting. This was, I don't know if people remember, we talked about doing it in April, and we postponed it because we were waiting on the MRI study about the finance department. So our potential date is September 25th. And Mike Kennison, who's the chair of the school board, was going to talk to the school board either tonight or tomorrow at their meeting to see if that worked for them. And I wanted to mention that to the town council also. Hopefully that's enough time for people to plan. And I don't have any, oh, Councilor Burns.
I just thought of something. So just wanted to mention, and hopefully this is okay to mention this here. So I've been made aware of the group, the movement, grassroots group, regarding the bags, which is in the name, is this?
Boomerang bags.
New boomerang bags, yes. So I don't know if you've been aware of it. So boomerang bags. So it's a movement to reduce single-use plastics, and they're giving out bags. I understand. Is that correct?
So that's my group,
Yes.
and we are going to be starting a program of reusing or reusable bag exchange program, basically. And so it's going to consist of a community piece, which will be sewing. So we'll be sewing bags. Hopefully be able to, there's a small group of us right now, but I mean, the response has been overwhelming, but it's been really fantastic. And we will be sewing bags, be pulling in hopefully groups like the Girl Scouts and the Scouts and other school groups, the seniors. I think that we'll be able to kind of pull in from all different areas, and then distributing the bags. So right now, probably at the farmer's market and at the library. We're also going to be utilizing the library for the sewing and as a place to drop off fabric. Because the idea is not just to reduce the plastic use, but also the amount of fiber that goes into landfills. Because right now, we'll be doing things like recycling clothing, recycling tablecloths, like sheets, that sort of thing. So I think it's really exciting, and it's a grassroots sort of movement.
Yeah, it's definitely very exciting, and yeah, you can. So I've noticed that there's if you want more information, there is a Facebook page for it, and then do you have like Instagram or anything like that?
Not yet. We will have an Instagram, and maybe at some point a website. Like literally, this came into being Tuesday, so so it's all very new. But we will be at the farmers market on July 7th, collecting fabric and giving more information to people. So, thank you. Thanks for bringing it up.
Sure.
Councillor Dumont.
I had two things, actually. You generated another question. On your boomerang bags, you said you're looking for fabric. Is there a specific type? Is it all fabrics that can be recycled? Is it clothing, sweater material fabric?
So it's a good question, and I don't know that I have all the answers to that. Definitely T-shirts, because there's a really easy pattern that you can use to make out of T-shirts, and then I would think larger pieces at this point, so tablecloths, sheets, curtains, like that, just because we'll have to cut them, and I don't know if we're ready to piece together clothing. Like there's smaller squares. Yeah, so it's more work. But thank you.
2, obviously we're not meeting over 4th of July, so have a happy and safe 4th of July, not just to you fine folks, but everybody in Newmarket. There are 1,001 wonderful places in our great state where you can go see some fireworks and get a little piece of the American culture. I suggest that you use the holiday to do so and enjoy it.
Thank you. And Councillor Cast. No, Kuiper. What's that say? I don't have my glasses on. Kuiper.
I just wanted to confirm that July 17th we are going to have the non-public meeting before that.
Yes.
Okay, that'll be at 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
And seeing no other comments on the screen, I will consider us adjourned. Thank you.